GM, GM. We are late, but we are live. I apologize. I had some issues setting up everything. As you can see, I'm not in my normal, oh my God, arm attack. Not in my normal streaming environment, but we are here. We made it. Sorry, a couple minutes late, but thanks everyone for coming by, hanging out. Sorry, I just literally just sat down, hopping right into it. Let's see what everyone's saying. Hey, GM to you, Joel. Good morning to you. Hope you had a nice Thursday night football there. Gunnar Ross, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Likewise, Jake Binniger, good morning. Good morning, Mike Robb. The candles are lit. The Marvin Gaye is on. The sweet tones of the Underdog draft board will be your partner. That's what they say, Mike Robb. Hey, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Fantastic. Yes, I agree with that. The mood is set. The mood is set. Stephen, hey, GM to you. Stephen WC, thanks for coming in, hanging out. Likewise, King Schuster, the king himself. Appreciate you, King Schuster. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, pretty convincing performance for the Fighting Rondé Gadstons of Los Angeles. The breakout is here. I hope you were able to get him in your. I hope you were able to get him in all of your leagues that you your home leagues anyway. So that was pretty exciting. Didn't really need him too much in the second half. Ended up being a little bit of a blowout there. Although, as Tim denotes, maybe the big story is the Trey Harris touchdown. He was out there. He was out there about half the snaps in the first half. A lot of those were running plays because he is an exceptional blocker. But the fact that he's out on the field, encouraging, got a touchdown, very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. So, very cool to see at least maybe a little life from Trey Harris. But man, it is a crowded pass catching field. So crowded, in fact, that our former late round league winner Quentin Johnston, complete goose egg. My eliminator team, I had QJ. My opponent had nobody, and we're still tied. Not great for the eliminators. Jill says, my wife, the Vikings fan, watched zero of the game. Very smart. Yes. She made a good choice. She made a good choice for that, at least for that last night. Must have been a tough game. King says, was in your room. You got 1.1 in the Dawg Bowl last night. Oh, I hope I did okay. I was doing a couple experimental things in a few of the Dawg Bowls last evening. So those drafts might have been a little squirrely there, King Schuster, but appreciate you. Let me know if I did anything too crazy. GM, anyone with some interesting elim matchups? I think I'm gonna get smoked. I went over it I'll go over it at some point when we're probably waiting for something to fill. Let's see what a Dawg Bowl's at. These have been filling pretty darn slow. Yeah, waiting for 6. I tried to hop in one about a half hour ago. It was waiting for 6. I wonder if it's the same draft. The Dawg Bowl fill rate is way down compared to last week. We are only, sorry, arm attack again. Dear God, I got to figure out how to not do that. We're only 39% filled, and this contest has not been making it to Friday nights, and I will be. I mean, this contest might make it to Sunday at this rate. This is very slow, and it could be because NBA has started. It could be because this slate is really tough. I mean, I myself feel like I want to pare back a little bit because I have a lot of the combos and players that I'm happy with. So I don't really feel the need to add too much more to my kind of portfolio. But yeah, very, very slow fill. Steven says, Chad, I read last week Gadsden's dad did not start him. Yes, I read that too. Rondé Gadsden's dad not starting him in fantasy and did not want to add him in because he didn't want to jinx him. I mean, that is a true fantasy football ball knower, to know that you don't want to get up off the couch when your team starts to rally. You can't move. And so Rondé Gadsden's dad knows you don't want to put the jinx on, even if it's your son. The most you could do to support him is not putting him in if you haven't been rostering him before. So I love to see that. Vikings couldn't do anything, kept Chargers pass offense from rolling more. Yeah, and they still rolled. They still rolled a lot. But nothing through QJ. QJ was just running sprints to get back in shape. Yeah. I just can't believe he got no like zero receptions. I've got 2 done this morning. Okay, so I'm probably not the same. Probably not the same room. King Schuster. I have 1 team left. Look me up, King Schuster. All right, let me pull you up. Let me roll through chat. I could put you in. Let me just hop into a main BR. Let me hop into a main BR for folks because I don't really want to wait for the Dawg Bowl. Waiting for one. If anyone wants to get in. Hey, Lutz, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Hope you're having a nice morning. Mythology. I think I'm done this week on DBQ. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think the only DBQs I'm gonna do are on stream, unless I like get bored late and I hop in one or something. I'm pretty close to where I'd like to be. Wildcat not feeling as fast either. Yeah, I mean a lot of attention divided with NBA. You get later in the year, bankrolls. It's tough. Some of these formats, the main BR, the Dawg Bowl, super top heavy, and if you don't spike something, it's it's tough to hit that deposit button. I certainly understand like people scaling back as the year goes on, and we see that every year. It feels maybe a little exaggerated this year. I don't know. It does seem like we hit some sort of like week 8 cliff, but we'll see where it ends up. We'll see where it ends up. All right, let me see BBMDB. I know I have a different I know I have a different screen up, but this way I can kind of watch both. All right, King Schuster. All right, I have your matchup. You're currently, according to them, a 96% favorite to win. So let me let me make my pick. I'm just gonna take. Oh, you're in this room too. You're at the 6-7. All right, I'll take Jonathan Taylor. Let me share this real quick. King Schuster against 3 credit. Justin Herbert, absolute smash. Lad McConkey. That's pretty nice. You are running up against, Jonathan Taylor. He's got Genty on bye. He's got Etienne on bye. Yeah, I mean, I see why McBride on bye. I see why you're a pretty hefty favorite. That's a great start there from Lad. Shakir is kind of a fun late click. You kind of cancel each other out with DJ Moore. Rashad White this week is so nice to have Rashad White with I agree with you being a heavy favorite. I mean, you're not like a lock to win. Jonathan Taylor could score 1 million touchdowns, and some of your guys could dud. But I would much rather be you than your opponent right now. I do have to say that. So good luck there. Good luck, King Schuster. I hope you get home because I am. I think I'm in a lot of trouble. All right, so we got Jonathan Taylor at the 2. CeeDee Lamb at the 3 is a little unusual, which enables the 4 hole to get one of the 3 elite running backs. When I'm in this boat, man, it's like it's tough. I'm not huge on Saquon. I don't want to end up with absolutely no Saquon. I don't have a load of Josh Allen teams, and maybe I should be like near or below market. I see a huge path to failure for him if the game gets out of hand. If Carolina doesn't push them, we've seen Josh Allen just have kind of middling performances, but I don't want to end up with none of them because again, he does have 40-point upside on any given week, and sometimes when these teams blow other teams out, well, somebody's got to be doing the blowing out. DBQ needs 4. All right, we'll see where we're at after this one. Got a Ross. I just saw your JT Lamar last night mythology. Oh, is that in the Dawg Bowl? That's pretty nice. JT Lamar is I thought that was gonna get harder. If you got that last night, that's pretty cool. I don't want to go JT Warren. Sutton's still here. Dallas's pass defense is ass. We'll do Sutton. We'll do Sutton there because I actually considered taking Sutton where I took Josh Allen. So we got Allen, we got Sutton, we got JT. King Schuster's gone. Egbuka London. I like those 2 receivers quite a bit. Let's see what he does as far as the running backs. Mythology. I was torn between Lamar with Zay or Lamar Swift. The room ended up punishing me at wide receiver, and I wish I went Zay. Did you do Bateman late? I'm wondering. Did you pull that escape lever? Because it's not something I've done. It's something I've considered, but I haven't done enough drafts to end up with like enough Lamar to have to do that, or fished for him at the bottom of the barrel. But it's something I had been thinking about. Rooms were getting fun last night. Yeah, I don't know if that was my experience mythology. I don't know if I'd call them fun. They were they were very sweaty. I'm also losing my voice again. I'm gonna have like no voice by the end of this. I can feel it. I can feel it coming. So we'll see how long we go. I'm trying to have a good run to end the stream, but I can just tell this is going south on me. All right, so we got Allen. I am gonna take Rashad White on this team, but I don't have to take him first. I'm gonna take a tight end of choice. I'm between Kincaid with Allen or just taking Dallas Goedert there. I think I'm comfortable taking Goddard. He's national tight end day. I want somebody who might celebrate. Dallas Goedert smoked the Giants last time. I don't know if that's exactly going to repeat, but he's just so involved there. I have been playing this where Philly's going to win pretty handily, so I kind of like getting Philly pieces where possible. So we'll do Goddard. I guess the only thing is that sort of precludes me from taking Devonta Smith, who I do like. When he doesn't go, he's very fun to click as your last receiver. AJ Brown didn't practice again yesterday. They're saying he's probably going to play, but it concerns me. I'm not going to lie. It concerns me when a guy misses two practices in a row with a hamstring injury, and everyone's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." I'm kind of a worrier. This is a worrying channel. There were like 2 to 3 no badge. Oh, yeah. What happened to me? I didn't get it. I didn't get in on the fun. The Gale. Is this a week where we needed to draft early, like the Lamb situation, been focused on NBA? It's possible. If Rashad White is who you need, there's a good chance you do, because you were able to get him comfortably in the 3rd round for the first 2 days, which to me was just bonkers, because I didn't think there was any hope that Bucky played, and people were drafting Bucky. Like, him and Bucky were going back to back. It sort of was random who was going first. So if he's who you need, it could be bad. I thought if Lamar was who you need, it could be bad, but Lamar hasn't risen at all, which has been strange, being that, I thought he could flip Allen. I was wrong about that. He's not. So if Lamar's who you need, you didn't miss out on anything with his, Q tags seeming to be trending in the right direction. Other than that, maybe we've kind of consolidated on the receivers. Like Tez Johnson, who used to be able to get very late, he's now going earlier. But I think still, it's still in the 4th round. So I don't think that like precludes you from winning, 5th, 6th versus, 4th. I don't think that's like, you've got no hope. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to think of other big moves. Chris Olave at 100% ownership. I do like T. Higgins. I feel like there's a chance that it's a T. Higgins week. Jalen Waddle's always, Jalen Waddle's kind of live. I've been taking some Tez Johnson, but I don't really want to load up on that too much. Shahid's fine. You know what? I'll take Khalil Shakir. He's a guy I really have only taken in Dawg Bowls. But if I have an Allen, I don't think people are really doing Allen Shakir all that much. Maybe every Shakir team is an Allen team, whatever. I think that's going to be kind of uncommon. We've seen, I'd say we've seen spike weeks from Shakir, but we kind of like haven't. He doesn't seem like a spike week guy. So maybe this is not the best pick. I do think there's a chance that somebody on Buffalo goes off if I'm not playing it through the James Cook and I have an Allen team. Maybe he does drag one of these pass catchers. I would be equally fine with taking Keon Coleman, who's going to be even less owned than Shakir, but I'm kind of trying to just like vary it. I wanted one scroll. I don't know if that was the right one or not, but again, I don't think you can get too mad about pairing Allen with one of his guys, whether it's Shakir, whether it's Coleman. I don't think going below that is fine. I think his most common pairing will probably be Kincaid, although the Q tag next to Kincaid's name, maybe that scares people off. So let's see what King Schuster did. I just looking, I really like his team. Egbuka, London, Javonte, Kittle, Baker, and Kamara. I mean, to me, this is fun. I love Javonte this week. I think he's a really nice BR pick here. You can get him anywhere from the 3rd to the 6th, depending on your room. But I think when you end the team with Kittle, Baker, Kamara, then it doesn't really matter where you got him. These are all guys that I want in various degrees. I'm probably most cool on Kamara, but he certainly makes sense as far as a Baker stack. Plus, with Kendra out, he could actually see more workload. We don't really know where those Kendrick carries are going to funnel to. The most obvious play probably is just more Kamara. So we'll see what we got. We will see. Yeah, Gunnar Ross says White is the one. I have 2 4th-round Whites. Wow, 4th round. I honestly don't think I have 4th-round White because I don't think I ever passed on him in the 3rd. So maybe I could have gotten him if I was more patient. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Mythology. I've clicked Bateman a few times so far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think I got to him, but I certainly see the vision. Funnel chart says tight end versus Carolina. Yeah. Maybe I kind of overthought it. I should have just, instead of Goddard, could have just taken Kincaid and then gone White and then, Higgins, or there's a lot of guys open. I mean, Olave is, certainly would have made sense opposite White. Higgins, not Pittman with Taylor, but there's other guys. There's other guys, but you know what? Let's see what the Dawg Bowls at. King Schuster said it was waiting for 3. Oof, it must have fired. Waiting for 9. All right. All right. You know what we'll do? If anyone wants to hop in, let's do a Wildcat. I know some people prefer the price point. It's waiting for 1. I think from a draft perspective, it's identical to the BRs. I just think people get more excited about them, but I also think that we might get some different people trying to join the Wildcat. Maybe it's you. Let's see who got in here. Let's see who got in. J-Dubs. All right, Mr. Worth. Mr. Worth made it in. If anyone else is in here, please let me know. We get the 1 hole. I think I'll just continue to go by ADP and take Bijan. It is kind of funny that in the Dawg Bowl, Taylor is the 1.1, Bijan's the 1.2. Don't really. I thought they would converge by the end of the week, and they have not, unless the Dawg Bowl has switched overnight since I've drafted. But this is how they are. King Schuster, I'm sticking with more Dawg Bowls over BR. If you feel like you have an edge in Dawg Bowls, I would hammer it, because I do. It does feel like there's a little bit of like waned enthusiasm. I don't know. Maybe attack this week if you think you have an edge, because I mean, the vibe feels like people just don't like this week. And if you have some read on players you're into, especially some of the late round clicks, then it does seem like if this is a week you think you have an edge, I would go for it. I just don't feel like I have a great edge. I feel like I've built a lot of the teams and combos I want to be building, and I'm kind of just like tacking on additional ones. I don't think there's anything I'm like, oh, I really want, this grouping, and I haven't been able to get it. If anything, I feel like the latest drafts I've done have all been like very making a lot of compromises. King Schuster, 0 edge, just a drafter here. Well, King Schuster, we know you are you're a sharp player. So, but if you like this, if you like the slate, then I'd absolutely lean into it. I think there's a tendency sometimes to feel like we've got to play the same amount on every slate, and I think you got to, like, when you have an edge or think you have an edge, lean into that, and if you don't, then pull back. It's just sometimes we're not always good at identifying that. I've certainly had periods of playing DFS and drafting where the more confident I am, the worse the worse I've done, and the less confident I am, I scale back my play, and that's the week I'm like smashed. So I think sometimes we're not necessarily the best judges of our own abilities in these things. And so if that's you, then maybe play more equally. If you are better at identifying those spots, I think I've gotten better at identifying when I have an edge versus not. But I'm just saying, it is funny when you're like, all right, this week I don't like it. Let me pull back, and you like, everything you enter wins. What they consider a whiteboard marker. I don't even know what that phrase means, but I think you're more than that, King Schuster. Let's not do Drake London with Bijan. That's a little aggressive. It's a little aggressive. I will take, you know what we'll do? Let's do Lamar Odunze. This is not breaking any new ground. But maybe we'll try to build a stack. Maybe this will even be like a Bateman team. If Zay Flowers is there, I'll admittedly have a tough time passing on him. His ADP is 26, so there's a pretty good chance he comes back at 24. That's also going to be super common. This Bijan, Lamar, Odunze, Flowers, you're going to probably be 2v2 against a lot of people, I would guess. So maybe we take Flowers, but also this could just be the best. It could be the best combo, and you know, I Zay Flowers with Lamar Jackson is a different beast. He was trending pretty heavily upwards until Jackson got hurt. So you're a Sharpie on my marker. False. False, King Schuster. But again, much appreciated. Much appreciated. I think you all have to be we all have to be erasable markers. Because when you put things, when you have these hard and fast rules and the game passes you by. So, every slate is different. You gotta write up in the corner, where you don't erase the stuff you've learned, those valuable lessons. Everything else, you gotta start fresh. Gotta start fresh. It's a new week. It's a brand new week every week here. All right, J-Dubs, I like this start. Cook, Allen, and White. So very aggressive with Buffalo there. So just telling a story that Buffalo smashes Carolina. Cook has been getting a little less work in the passing game going into the bye. I feel like that might just be kind of like weird game flow versus because I think it's been actually 0. I hope that picks up a little bit, especially as someone who's drafting both of these guys. But it's something I want to keep an eye on going forward, if that's a conscious decision or what's going on there. But yeah, Devonta Smith, great pick there, especially if AJ Brown is out. I mean, where are we taking Devonta? He's going to go from a guy not drafted every time to 100% owned going forward, I would suspect. All right, Zay Flowers is coming around. All right, Zay Flowers is here. I think we got to get a little squirrely. Let's do Zay Flowers and Chase Brown. Chase Brown's not going to be 100% owned, but I could see, Mason Taylor showed up on the injury report. I think he was a full DNP. I don't think he was just limited. I think he didn't practice at all. So full practice DNP is, I think that was the cadence, which is bad. So I'm actually quite worried, as somebody who was taking a fair amount of Mason Taylor, that he might be out this week. I'm trying to pull it up on another screen. Jets injury report. Where did he go? What happened here? Yeah, Mason Taylor, quad injury. So he was full practice Wednesday, then DNP Thursday. Let's hope that trends the right direction. Uh-oh. I see Tyler Nabel, aka PPR Tyler. Who watches this guy? The views are botted. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's there's an open investigation. YouTube has flagged my account. They're saying, well, why are 90% of your viewers in Moscow, Russia? This is clearly a bot farm. But Tyler Nabel, appreciate you coming by. PPR Tyler, I would not have crested 100 subs were it not for PPR Tyler. So thank you, PPR Tyler. If you don't sub to him, you should. If you don't sub to the Toxic Tower, you should. This was, of course, formerly the Typhel Tower, but no one knew how to spell Typhel Tower. So it is rebranded, but you absolutely should check that out. Great show. Although, I think one of the members, Emo Cowboy, is currently exploring Japan. Don't know what's up with that. You'll have to find out when Emo Cowboy returns from his adventures. But no, appreciate you, Tyler. You're coming by. AJ Brown sounding bad. I'm starting to hammer Devonta. Let me draft a tight end, and then I am getting a little worried. They said he's going to play, but definitely a bit of concern there. All right. I'm trying to figure out what I want. I guess I'm going to take a guy that I never really see taken. I'll take a Hunter Henry share, mostly because I want to just get very different. We're going to go off the board here. We'll take Hunter Henry. People have been taking Dalton Schultz because everyone's injured on Houston. I'm not. This is not a Dalton Schultz channel. It's not a Dalton Schultz channel. So we got a little wild, right? We said this could be a 4v4. So excuse me, a 2v2. So, if you have a 2v2, what do you want? You want Chase Brown and Hunter Henry. Certainly that's going to be the best 2v2. But I do see a path to success for Chase Brown against a Jets team that could be circling the drain. Hunter Henry is, can have those random spike weeks, has been heavily involved. We all love Drake May. Why not take him but not attach to Drake May? So the final team is Lamar Jackson, Bijan, Chase Brown, Odunze Flowers, and Hunter Henry. Let's see what J-Dubs did. Cook, Allen White, and then tacked on Devonta McMillan and Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely, kind of a fun click, not 100% taken. And yeah, it's National Tight End Week. National Tight End Week. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, the reports were that they still expect AJ Brown to play, but it makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. Quid pro quo. First of all, appreciate you coming by, hanging out. Disappearing ink here, minus 50% ROI so far. It is tough. It is tough out there. It's one of those things where if you're playing mostly these GPPs, then that's how most people's profit graphs are just going to be kind of like straight down, and then hopefully you have that 1 week that brings it up, because there's not, especially in Underdog, there's not a lot of like double up options, right? There's not like cash games. People, a lot of people on DK use cash games to kind of like buoy, to flatten out at least your overall bankroll for just like hanging on for dear life until you spike those GPPs. Because it's very hard to just like keep your bankroll up by min caching or slightly above min caching. It generally doesn't work that way. Like you generally need one of those big weeks to kind of like, one or two each year to kind of keep yourself afloat. And it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to have downswings. So this is a very tough way to turn a profit. I have to say that it is brutal. King Schuster, I went from 90% fields and dailies to 0. If he starts, smash him. Are you talking about AJ Brown? Because yeah, it is tough. It is tough. Hey, Chris, GM Candles. Hey, GM to you, Chris. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. King Schuster, maybe PPR Tyler is teaching the youth how to win a dog bowl this morning in class. Well, PPR Tyler, famously, one of the educators of the future youth of America, as well as a football coach. So if you want your X's and O's, he is a literal hand in the dirt over there. Mathology, Waddle popped on Thursday's injury report. A lot of news to monitor. That is true too. Mathology. It's like LP parentheses trade candidate. I don't know. It is wacky times. It makes it very hard to trust some of these. Like, it makes me very nervous drafting like Breece Hall and Waddle and some of these, because they're, especially Waddle, he's not cheap. And they might not be playing for you this week. Been a couple years for a GPP bank, new to Underdog, like it a lot. Underdog is, to me, much more fun. And the other thing I like about, let me see what the DBQ's at before I go on this. Waiting for 4. All right, let's sit in this. Let me sit in this, and also let me do my my timestamps. If anyone wants to hop in, I'll wait. I'll wait this one out. I will wait this one out. All right. I forgot to do the first timestamp. So BR1 and Wildcat 1. All right. And we're at, also, this always reminds me, it's been 28 minutes. I haven't asked if you can sub. That would be fantastic. I would truly appreciate it. Keeps the lights on, keeps everything moving forward. We're on the road to 300 subs. Would be absolutely fantastic if we could get home. But one thing I do like is you actually have an edge. Like if you get ahead of injury news, oh my gosh, and we're rewarded with the 1.1. My God. Yeah, if you get in ahead of injury news and you take that chance, you're paid off. Versus DK, it's like, oh, a guy's inactive, they announce it, and suddenly everyone apes into the play that you were like kind of on earlier. It's like, well, it feels like like nothing matters until the inactives come out, and then we're all scrambling to do the lineups. Versus here, there's kind of like a fun element of risk that you can take or not take. Like there's a few added things, and of course the variance of room to room. So it is fun. Like I really like Underdog. It's very fresh. I like that they have 12 persons and they have 6 persons, because those drafts are extremely different. It's fairly nice that they have good price points. Like I'll take Jonathan Taylor here. I took a couple Bijan shares last night, so let's just do JT. He's they want to make him offensive player of the year, I think. So he's going to get a lot of touchdowns that they're going to feed to him. They're also playing the Titans, and he's Jonathan Taylor. So there's nothing really you can say creative about why you're taking Taylor 101. You just take him and move on. But yeah, I mean, I love that they have the Wildcat, the $3 Wildcat. I think it used to be 50 max, which I honestly did prefer because, it lets people who aren't, putting a ton of volume in feel like they're not up against the 150 maxers, but 50 is still a lot if you're like a high volume player. But, I get it. I get it. Joel asks, do we care if Waddle's hurt if Tua can't see him? Maybe that's why he goes in the medical tent. Maybe the medical tent's kind of elevated, and Waddle, is like, hey, and Tua's like, I forgot because I'm concussed. I have that guy. When he comes back, I should look for him. Yeah, tough scenes. Yeah, congrats 1.1. I know. I'm already I'm already excited to get another seat. It's guaranteed here from the 1.1. I see Biff is in this one tonight. I know our mortal nemesis Biff Tannen. Biff Tannen at the 5. He takes Hunter Henry. We're just gonna sauce all of his picks. That's what we're gonna. This is a Biff Tannen sauce channel now. No, I actually feel like Hunter Henry is a perfectly reasonable pick. Although I will say, I think I was taking James Cook ahead of him. I don't know if I have Derrick Henry in the Dawg Bowl, so we will see. So we got Gunnar Ross at the 2. Gunnar Ross looking over the desk, copying my homework. It's incredible. So we got Gunnar Ross at the 2. We got Aaron JH. He popped in the other day or yesterday. If you're in here, Aaron, hello. Appreciate you. It was a funny bit when I didn't know he was in the chat and I made assumptions about about who this was. And and there was the real Aaron JH hanging out. We got J Dubs here, Mr. Worth. He gets CD Lamb, King Schuster at the 10. And if you're in here, let me know. Let me know if I missed you in the fracas. So man, just people are out on Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts at 13. Not very common. I get it though, because like you're not gonna be able to get Igbuka Hurts anywhere else. And so if you think Hurts is the number 1 quarterback, I don't hate this. It's not how I have them ranked, but I don't mind people trying to get a little bit unique. I think they're going to run into unstacked Hurts here, or at least they're going to be like in Dallas Goedert land because Devonta does not make it to 36 anymore. So quid pro quo, the DFS drafts in lieu of salary cap got me rejuvenated instead of just putting volume in. Yeah, that's the other thing is like it takes a little longer. Oh my God. Sorry, I had a phone call coming through my headphones. That was not what I wanted to have happen at all. Yeah, it's sorry, everything's going haywire here. Yeah, I like the element of like you actually get a little bang for your buck. Like it's actually fun to do the draft. So even, there's some element of like entertainment value versus just like, clicking lineups or uploading CSVs or whatever, however you choose to play your DK volume over there. King Schuster, Bears defense isn't that bad, and Lamar is banged up. Yeah. And Bears defense isn't great, and it is Lamar Jack. Like it's like MVP Lamar Jackson, who I generally think of as somewhat matchup proof, and they also like literally need to win. Like they're holding nothing back. So I don't know. I thought he was going to rise again. I thought part of his ADP was that he was possibly injured. Speaking of Lamar Jackson here, Swift cropped up on the injury report, which I don't truly love. I'm thinking, what do I want to do here? You know who I like? I think I want Chase Brown. I think I want a Chase Brown share. And then who do I like at receiver most? I'll go back to the Zay Flowers. Well, let's do Zay Flowers without Lamar Jackson. So we'll take a Zay Flowers shot. I've done Zay Flowers, Odunze over on this side of the board. I think that's kind of a nice game stack. But again, I do think there's a good chance that Cincinnati rolls over the Jets, and we could just see better days for Chase Brown. So we'll play it through that. Part of me was thinking of going Brown, Higgins, and then maybe even making a Joe Flacco team. I don't have any Joe Flacco teams. Could be a little bit galaxy brained there, but that was something I was running through my mind. Higgins is not going to get back to me at 48, so I feel comfortable saying that I was considering that because it is and not I'm not going to be able to get it. Higgins ADP is 33, so he's not going to fall 15 spots in a dog bowl. Hey, AZ Mountain Man, just lurking, gathering. Hey, appreciate you. Lurkers number 1, AZ Mountain Man. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. And yeah, really appreciate you there. King Schuster notes chance of rain showers in Baltimore too. Yeah, and I have really tried hard to like tune out weather stuff unless it's truly windy or like torrential rain. I think sometimes we let the rain get us off of good plays. So and again, I mean, the defense has to play in the rain too, and the offense knows where they're going, and the defense doesn't. So sometimes you see, defenders slip. The footing could be weird. Like I think what it does is just increase variance. Like if anything, with the rain, it makes me more interested in like if I'm betting, like taking the dog side of it, because I think just the more unpredictability that goes in, the more it evens the playing field. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't mind the I don't mind the little drizzle there. Maybe I don't think Lamar Jackson likes the cold. I feel like whenever it gets cold in Baltimore, he just does not seem like he enjoys playing in the playing through that. So I'd be more worried about that. I don't think it's supposed to be bitter cold. All right, Lou Dog. October showers bring Lamar powers. I know, and D Hember is coming. D Humber is coming, but it's gonna need to come early for the Ravens, or it's over. King Schuster knows so just follow AWE 419. Draft Alvin and win a seat. Yeah, I mean the man has won 2 dog bowls. Clearly knows what he's doing. All right, let's see what folks are doing. Gunnar Ross, he's got Bijan, Devonta, Odunze. I like that start there. J Dubs, Mr. Worth, he goes Lamb, Lamar, and Kittle. I mean, three of the top at each position. I can't really say too much about that. Like that team a lot. King Schuster, London, Sutton, Kamara, and he's about to come on the clock. So far so good. So far so good. I like the teams people are constructing here. We got Bo Nix go over here at pick 38. I mean, Bo Nix, great matchup this week. It is funny to see the quarterback who was left for dead last week is now the 4th QB off the board, but the matchup does dictate that could pay off quite a bit, and he's easy to backstack. If you're not the Sutton team, I wonder if King Schuster would have taken Nix. My instincts are yes, but we will see. We will see if that's what his plan was or not. But Bo Nix, of course, you can take Mims or Franklin late. You can also take Evan Ingram. This person won't. Casey Pollock won't because they already have Ferguson. I mean, no, they can't take 2 tight ends because they have 2 running backs. So, Nix is kind of fun because you can easily backstack him, and you can also just take him unstacked. And we saw last week the rushing upside can get you home. So, King Schuster said no on Bo Nix, so no Nix. Goes 3 wide. London, Sutton, and Diggs. I think that's perfectly reasonable start there. Tez Johnson again. He used to be really nice for the left side drafters. He does not make it there very frequently. Although I did have a late draft last night where I got Tez from either the 1 or 2, which did make me happy. Woody Marks, formerly the free running back, he goes here at pick 42. I don't know if this is abnormal. I'm assuming this is well ahead of ADP, but also ADP can be a little bit illusory. Yeah, his ADP is 58, so that was a bit of a reach. But running back does go off a cliff. Although if I'm Tyler, how many running backs are left? I guess, I mean, there's Ramondre there. So if you were neutral towards Marks or Ramondre, all of us have 2 running backs here except for Gunnar Ross. So we probably could have pushed running back. But who am I to judge? He only needs a tight end and another receiver. So if he has Scrolls there, then it's kind of a moot point. And some people really are big on Woody Marks. Oh, I messed up. I thought Aaron had 2 running backs. So that was completely wrong. 2 people needed running backs, so he couldn't have safely pushed him if he was concerned. So Aaron H, he takes Ramondre. We're coming up on the clock. What are our options? Hmm. What do we want to do? Stacking options aren't super great. Danny Dimes goes, which is a little unlucky. It would have been I would have done Dimes there, I think. Um, Drake May is also who I would have taken. Jackson Dart is fine. I'm running out of time here. I'm gonna take Pittman. We're gonna stack the Tennessee side of this, and then I think I'm just gonna go not Dalton Schultz. I think I'll just do an unstacked Dart. I think I'm just gonna do Dart or maybe Theo Johnson if we want. So we're just gonna say that the Colts smash Tennessee with no Danny Dimes. Again, the Pittman is a little squirrely, but this feels like quite a bit of ADP value. I really do like Pittman a lot. So we'll do unstack Dart or Dart with Theo. I would be surprised if anyone took Theo Johnson there. So we got Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman, Jackson Dart. I was a little of two minds of what to do there. Certainly, um, maybe if instead of Zay Flowers this was Rome Odunze, then this pick is Caleb, and we just have Caleb Odunze, and that feels a little better. And we end the team with like Isaiah Likely. That's a little more paint by numbers. Um, Maybe it's better than what I ended up with. Just different things to think about, different options from the one hole. Um, Mythology says take Dak. I thought about taking Dak there, but I unstacked Dart over unstacked Dak. It was a question. It was a question in my mind, certainly. Um, I definitely see why that might have been wrong. I yeah, that was a tough decision for me there. And I don't think I have a great argument of why Dart is better there. I guess for me, I'm kind of afraid that Dak is very likely to bring one of the pass catchers along versus Dart, where I think I'm a little safer being unstacked. Like I feel like Dak Lamb is going to be common, Dak Pickens, or even Dak Fergie. And I don't know why I kind of in my head feel like you're going to want one of those Dak skinnies. Um, I don't know. I certainly, maybe again, if I took Pickens instead of Flowers, maybe I'm in a better boat there. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Yeah, more outs with Dak. I hear you. I wanted Pitts, says King Schuster. I definitely thought about taking Pitts there as well and just pushing quarterback to the very end. Late hammer too. Yeah, you love the you gotta love the late game hammers. You gotta love the late game hammers. Yeah, I'm with you, Gunnar Ross. The late charge is fun. Although the seed I got, I had no one in the late games. I have to say it'd probably have been more fun to get a seat by chasing someone down than by holding on for dear life for third place. Or you wanted a stack option. Um yeah, I it was a tough choice. Like you saw me. I'm not. I was here sitting in silence, kind of rolling through the options because I genuinely wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do there. Let me see. I don't know if I really am super sold on Theo Johnson here. Let me see. Um, I'm very curious. Theo Johnson. Oh shoot. All right. I'm logged out of all my other stuff. All right. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. So we need a tight end. We need a tight end here. There's a lot of gross options, and we're gonna take the last tight end on the board. Oh, Loveland, Biff Tannen. No, Biff got me. Loveland is who I was gonna take. I was hoping to get a low owned Loveland. I guess he has Caleb. I can't get mad at Biff for that one. That one's on me. That one is on me there. Good old Theo Johnson here. I'm just I think I'd almost rather commit to the bit of the unstacked Dart stuff. I know this is disgusting, but I think I'm gonna take Taysom Hill. We don't know what's gonna happen with Kendra out. I mean, this could be Megamind. We're all off of him. He did nothing last game, but I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna roll the dice on Taysom week, National Tight End week. A guy that can randomly break the slate. I don't know. This could be bad. I think this is what you do when you took Dart unstacked, and you probably should have taken Dax, and you're trying to dig out of a hole. Again, I feel like I kind of squandered a one-hole team a little bit. I don't love what I ended up with. This team, for the audio listener: Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman, Jackson Dart, Taysom Hill. We are getting Taysom Hill at very low ownership. I don't know if I've actually seen him drafted in a Dawg Bowl. I'm sure it's happened in at least one of mine. I just didn't notice. Um, but we'll try something a little different here. We'll try something a little different. Justice said Surtain takes Pickens out. I could see a Dak skinny being what you need instead of him spreading it out. Yeah, yeah. I think the ball knowers, I've listened to a lot of them. They've generally said Surtain doesn't follow people into the slot, and so we might see when Lamb's in the slot, he'll escape that. Pickens is obviously so good that I'm not like super scared of it, but we could see a world where it is like just one of those just Dak Lamb, Lamb 14 target kind of games. Should that have made me too scared to take him? No, but again, we've just seen the Dart rushing upside. He's been like vulturing a lot of the short yardage stuff as well. Steven, I knew it. I feel like there are a lot of things went awry there. Mathology noting the Giants play the most 12. Theo's always on the field. Yeah, I think Theo would have been fine. If I'm not mistaken, Bellinger may have even come up on the injury report, which would be something to monitor. I don't know how much that would actually impact Theo Johnson's production, but I know Bellinger is good for like you know, stealing touchdowns in a Dawson Knoxy kind of annoying way but like the Giants version. But yeah, I think Theo would have been fine there. Joel says YOLO. Quid pro quo. Hill, my favorite scroll this week. Such a fun click, and the missile for the YOLO. Eh, Again, it's just one of those things that we haven't seen it yet from Hill all season. So maybe this is the week. Again, hope is not a strategy. So just like hoping it's Taysom Hill week when he's been getting like sub 10 snaps. Not great. But again, with Kendre out, I think there is something new. It's not just like martingaling Hill. I think the situation has changed a bit. Um, I think they're going to want to do some creative things against Tampa this week. And again, getting a sub 10-20% owned Hill in a Dawg Bowl. Why don't we let it roll? Let's see what happens there. Go AZ Cards. Remember when Dak was available in the 4th? That never happens. Are you saying in this draft where I passed on him in the 4th? Oh boy. If we haven't seen it, it means it's due. Exactly. The due theory. The due feeling. Gambling, got to fire $3 to $7 well, this is 25 quid pro quo. So it's little more than that. Off to option scalping 0-day Friday. Good luck, gamble. Hey, good luck to you, quid pro quo. I hope you're in the money at the end of the day here with all of your options. Well, appreciate oh yeah, let me go through some teams here. Gunnar Ross. Let's see what you did. Bijan, Devonta, Odunze, May, Otten, Hubbard. Yeah, nice team there. Chuba Hubbard at pick 71 is kind of fun because they are probably going to run the ball a ton. And yep, Chuba Hubbard, nice pick there. Let's see. J-Dubs, Mr. Worth. He goes Lamb, Lamar, Kittle, Johnson, Tez Johnson, that is, Rashad Bateman, and RJ Harvey. So yeah, we see a Lamar Bateman stack here. RJ Harvey, I don't think I've seen him clicked. I have not been able to get there this year. Again, one of those things, buying before you see it. It's not always a bad strategy. In the 6th round, it's just Sean Payton, man. He hates us. He hates us so much. King Schuster, Drake London, Cortland Sutton, Alvin Kamara, Steph Diggs, Evan Ingram, and Michael Penix. So he does take Ingram with Sutton, but without Nix. However, he did not want Nix. And why does he not want Nix? Well, because he's got the Penix London stack. to me, Penix going in the last round is pretty wild that we don't want to pick on the Miami Dolphins. I really like Penix. I have a fair amount of him this week, and yeah, he's so easy to stack with London. I mean, you could stack him with Bijan. I don't think that's terrible. I mean, the Falcons could really blow out the Dolphins this week, and if Bijan has a receiving touchdown and some of the other stuff flows, Penix throws to some other, two or three other touchdowns. Like, I mean, Penix could absolutely like have a big spike week for someone we're paying nothing for. So, like the team there, I think that's fine. uh, Chief Matt asked, "Do you ever jump into a $25 draft and think how many Egg McMuffins you could have bought with it?" I try to keep this separate from the Egg McMuffin budget, but now that you mention it, yep, that's several days worth of. And now with McDonald's Monopoly, you create a flywheel. You just get more free food. Although the free food you get with the McDonald's Monopoly pieces, they cleverly are not ones where you can get more pieces. That's kind of a bummer. But we could end up with a lot of McDonald's Monopoly or McDonald's food at this rate. Yeah, every time, says Joel. Go easy cards. I don't mind Harvey if you think Denver will be playing a ton of catch up. Yeah, unless it's Tyler Beatty season. You never know. You never know. You never know. I think someone else was like working it. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. All right. Let's hop into, you know what? Let's see what the next one's at. Sometimes these roll. I feel like I need redemption. All right. Waiting for 4. We'll do one more here. We'll do one more Dawg Bowl. And then we'll do a BR or two and see where we're at. Unless no one joins it, in which case I'll just hop into a BR. Waiting for 3. All right, somebody joined. 51, 45, DBQ2. All right. I think I made Mason Taylor the thumbnail today before he got injured, so that's kind of a bummer. There. I hope he plays. All right, we got the 6 hole. We didn't deserve the 1 through 3 after that performance. So we're in the middle of the board. Our arch nemesis Biff Tannen is here next to us. We got Mr. Worth at the 4, Gunnar Ross at the 8, and Patrick Barnes YouTube, the original nemesis, at the 12. I'm losing my voice. This sucks. I'm probably gonna do one or two more after the BRs after this, and I'm gonna have to call it because I'm gonna lose my voice. All right. Let's see. From the 6 hole, what are we thinking here? By ADP. Oh man, it's A-Chain. I really don't like A-Chain that much. I'd probably take James Cook over A-Chain. That said, Atlanta is vulnerable on the ground if the Dolphins do keep it close. That's how it's going to be. But if Waddle misses, it might not be like, oh, A-Chain gets all the volume. It might be like, oh, A-Chain is facing 13-man boxes and has absolutely nowhere to go. So I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous about A-Chain on this Dolphins team that's circling the drain, but we'll see what we get. We got Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase. Let's see what Samuelson does. He takes A-Chain. All right, let's do a Derrick Henry team. Let's do Henry. I think I said I didn't have Derrick Henry. If I do, I just don't remember drafting him in the Dawg Bowl. But we'll take Derrick Henry here. We'll get a Henry team going. I thought about taking CD Lamb. I think that would be interesting too. I want to say some sites are projecting him as the wide receiver 1 ahead of Jamar Chase. I don't know. The volume ceiling we've seen from Jamar Chase was nothing short of astounding. But the way I'm playing this game is we could see a lot of running from the Bengals after they're up 21-3 in the second quarter. It could get out of hand for the Jets if Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor are out. Like, I've never seen Josh Reynolds get drafted, but like who else are they going to throw the ball to? I simply don't know. I don't know. Maybe if you're really desperate in a Dawg Bowl, you could take him. I don't have the courage yet But just something to think about. But to me, it might just be a full avoid on that. Patrick Barnes YouTube, he takes Rashad White at the turn. Man, the good old days of getting him at pick 35 are over. Are completely and utterly over. I'm going to get the I am going to put the music on solely because I don't feel as bad if I have to pause. All right, so the pick 19 is kind of a weird spot. If you look at the running backs, it's like Brees, Scatabo, Judkins, and then if you wait, you're hoping you get another one that doesn't always come to you. So we'll have to see what's available. I'm not super into Scatabo this week. I mean, I'm not gonna like fully fade him, but he's not a priority like he's been for me in the past. I'm very concerned about the matchup. In my mind, this is going to be a very good script for the Eagles this week. So we will see. We will see what we end up doing here. Javonte is one of my favorite clicks. So yeah, we're going White Javonte. That's kind of a nice start there. Even though you're not getting it in great with White, you know, those are two very strong players to be starting a team with. And I don't know if they were paired together super often, although I do think there was a chance to pair them in the third round. So meaning you're kind of missing one of these second round picks here. All right. Let's see what the room wants to give to us here. So Biff takes Jalen Hurts. I was probably going to take Jalen Hurts, so that's pretty sweet. Biff Tannen strikes again. Man, do I not like Breece Hall? He's injured. He's on the injury report again. Don't love Chris Olave. This feels early for Odunze. All right, I'm going to... I really prefer to push tight end to the end, but I do like Tyler Warren enough to where I will take a shot here. I'm going to try to push running back. I might live to regret this if nobody comes back around. So we'll go Henry Warren. Yeah, not my world's favorite start, but if you want Warren, this is where he goes. There's enough good late tight ends to, again, it's much more comfortable in the 6th round to be clicking tight end than it is to be scrounging for wide receiver. And, you know, we're going to have to take 2 wide receivers in the 3rd through 6th round here. That doesn't even include if we want Danny Dimes to stack with Warren. We'd probably be eyeballing him around pick 43. His ADP is pick 45. Again, we can't guarantee anything, especially because we have Biff Tannen here. And I know he already has Jalen Hurts, but, you know, he could find a way to ruin things for us. So we'll see. We will see. All right, Gunnar Ross, he goes Saquon, Lamar. Yeah, that seems like a nice start there. Mr. Worth, he's the inverse of us. He goes Jamar, Chase, Rome, Odunze. So he is pushing the running backs till a little later himself. For us at pick 30, still a few decent running back options on the board. If George Kittle comes back to me, I'll probably feel kind of dumb about not having just taken a running back in Kittle. To me, I think there's a chance Kittle and Warren, I in my mind, I don't have them that far apart. I know Kittle didn't do anything last week, but I think better days are likely ahead for George Kittle. He will randomly have those very quiet games, but you know, if you're going to win a dog bowl, you got to take the shot on that sort of thing and not be afraid of buying the dip there. All right, so Samuelson can't take a running back, which is good. Daddy 34 takes Dobbins. Let's see what J-Dubs does here. Let's see what J-Dubs does. He winds the clock. Trying to think of what I want to do here. He takes Kittle. All right, I think I'm going to I think I'm Brown over Swift. Swift has been on the injury report. He was a DNP on Wednesday. He was a limited practice yesterday. So I do think he's going to play. But with that said, again, I don't really love Swift Henry. I don't really like the story that particularly tells. So we'll do Chase Brown, and we are going to cross our fingers that we can figure out something at wide receiver this week. So we've got Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Tyler Warren on the team. I'll pull the board up so people can see what's going on in this room. We got Biff Tannen. No, he can't. Devonta Smith went at pick 16. Man, people are getting nervous. People are getting nervous about AJ Brown. AJ Brown at 29, Devonta Smith at pick 16. So, this drafter, Sanchi 98, playing the inverse Q tag game of trying to buy the riser when the I don't know, what would you call AJ Brown to Devonta Smith here? He's trying to buy Devontae on the possibility that AJ Brown goes down. So we will we'll see how that pans out. It does feel a little rich for Smith here to me, but not too terrible. Higgins goes, McMillan goes. So Owen just going for all wide receiver firepower. Igbuka, London, Tet, McMillan. I can't say I hate that. If he can land the plane with a good running back, those are three very nice receivers. I have not started a team like that, but if you have the conviction in a late round running back, not too bad. And they're all quite stackable here. Should get the option for, if he wants to make a Baker team, and then you have Penix, who doesn't go drafted, and then you have Andy Dalton if you want to do it. I mean, they might have to throw a million times. We've seen Andy Dalton have those spike weeks when called upon. So couldn't fault him there. But instead takes Fergie. So just continues taking elite skill position players. And again, if you pencil in Penix, kind of gives you a nice little start there. All right. Joel says, hard sniped on my second and third picks. I hate this draft. Oof. Well, I'm next to you, so... Oh, no, I'm not. So I did not snipe you. Yeah, if you wanted Hall and Dobbins, yeah. That's kind of a tough run out there. Wow, Woody Marks, pick 39. My God, the steam is steamy. So I don't think... Oh, man. I don't think I want to go unstacked Baker over stacked Daniel Jones. I think that's a little too clever. Nobody here has a quarterback. So I'm very afraid if I take Pittman, even if I try a Pittman double, there's a darn good chance I don't get Danny Dimes here. So I'll take Daniel Jones now. I could see the vision and just saying YOLO. I'm going to take Pittman and hope I get Daniel Jones at pick 54. But I don't think it's worth it there, and I don't want to be frozen out at quarterback on this team. So we'll see what we get. J-Dubs, he takes Tez Johnson. Again, I did consider taking Tez Johnson there because I think he's a pretty big upgrade, but that would have left a natural Danny Dimes Pittman stack for someone lurking on the turn. And again, I kind of wanted this team to be a team with a quarterback I was excited about. With Devonta, he's buying on the come, so like a craps table. He's not playing the pass. We're betting with the house here. Rip 5th round Marks. Wish I had more shares. Yep, I know I passed on Marks for like Ramondre and a couple teams, and that seems like I may have made an error there. All right, let's see. So we need 2 wide receivers. My goodness. What do we want to do? I mean, Alec Pierce is live. Alec Pierce would create a Colts double stack. And the good thing about Alec Pierce is you don't need You don't need a ton of volume to get there with Alec Pierce. Like he can pepper Tyler Warren, and then Alec Pierce can do his like 3 for 83 and a touchdown thing and get us home. I don't think Alec Pierce is going to come back to me. There's a couple deep scrolls we can try to hit. I don't think Nico's going to play. Shakir's fine. Moore's fine. But let's go for a let's lean into this Danny Dimes thing. We passed on a lot to take him, so let's try to maximize that. I know this is a week a lot of people are trying to just stick with singles. We'll do a double stack though. So we got Daniel Jones, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren. So not the worst thing. We'll see what we end up with at receiver at the end. This week, the 4-5 turn scoops up QB stacked or unstacked so they don't get stuck with the leftovers. Yep. It's very weird, Go AC Cards. I mean, look at this. Only one person does not have a quarterback, and the 5th round isn't even over. Everybody else has one. Like, it has been bizarre the way quarterback has been drafted this week. I love this, guys. This Owens team. This from the 11. Egbuka, London, McMillan, Ferguson, Ramondre, and then they're probably going to take Penix. They take what? Spencer Rattler? I liked their team until they did that. I don't really understand why they took Spencer Rattler unstacked. But not that Spencer Rattler isn't draftable. I just feel like they kind of had like a very natural like final pick, and then they did something really weird. All right. We're coming back up, and I need another wide receiver. Darnell Mooney's been on the injury report, which scares me a little. I'm going to queue up Juwan Jennings, who I have been taking in this spot. Io Manor. It is tempting to take Io Manor as a bring back, because I am telling a story. You know what? Let's do something. Let's do it. Let's take Io Manor. This could be absolutely god awful. I don't really believe too much in game stacks, but here's the thing. I do need the Colts to show some life. And, if Pierce and Warren are going to get there, if Daniel Jones is going to have to throw enough for this game to be live, I do need something to happen on the Colts side. I know it was Shamir DK week last week, but, Io Manor, I think his utilization was still somewhat decent. So, I don't know. This guy's going to be 0% owned. We're the whole world is off of him. We're going to try something a little different on this team and see if we can't get home. Again, this is why I feel like I've already built the Dawg Bowl teams I like. These last two I built, I'm a little bit cool on. Let's see what some other people did though. Let's see what J-Dubs did. He went Jamar Chase, Romo Junze, George Kittle, Tez Johnson, and then Caleb Hubbard. Yeah, I like this team. I think that's pretty nice, this Caleb Odunze stack. I know you got sniped, but I think you did manage to land the plane pretty well. Now, Biff Tannen, we know he's good. Let's see what he did. Cook, Hurts, Swift, and then Wandale, Shakir, and Ingram. So kind of interesting to see Shakir here with Cook, but no Allen, so just betting on various Buffalo parts. Justice said, this is why I stopped drafting after projections come out. Yeah, I feel like that too. Like, I feel like this team is significantly, even if you're like, oh, that Io Manor pick was stupid. Okay, well, what did you want me to do? Take Juwan Jennings? Does that change us from like a team that's not great into like really good? Yeah, I don't know. Go Easy Cards, you got one more. You got this. Do people like these? Are people like watching me draft crappy Dawg Bowl teams? Teams never look as good as they did prior. No, they don't. All right, everyone. How many likes are we at? I'm almost afraid to look. We need more. We need some more. Oh my god, I almost accidentally closed my StreamYard. Let me see. I'm afraid to check. I am afraid to check. Let's see. I hit the wrong button. We're at 20. I mean, we can get to 22. We can get to 22. That's not asking for much. I'll hop in one more dog bowl. And then we'll probably get on out of here this morning. We can turn the reins over. I know Pete's on with you to cow today, so that is always appointment streaming there. A lot of great Friday shows happen. I know Pete does a whole bunch of stuff. I think starting at 11. Anyway, definitely make sure to check that out if you don't. But appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out as we fight through these Friday dog bowls, which, man, have been brutal. They have been absolutely brutal, but you know what? That's why we're here in the trenches. Maybe we can find one last team we like. We're in the 11. All right. We are in the 11. So let's see what we can do. DBQ 3. And this probably will be my last dog bowl of the week. If you see me in the dog bowl streets, say, hey, you said you were done. What are you doing? But sometimes I can't help myself. But no, I do. I have drafted enough teams towards the end to where I feel like my I'm not getting it in good at this point. Fine, one more. Well, he's gonna do one. He's gonna do one. All right. Yay, Brian the Goober. GM to you. Appreciate you, Brian. Thanks for coming in, watching me struggle through these dog bowls. It is brutal in the end of the week. I'm not in my. I can blame that. I'm not in my normal office, and I'm here on a couch, on a coffee table, drafting dog bowl teams. But we're doing our best. We're doing our best from the 11 hole. Let's see who's in the room. We've got Go AZ Cards at the 6, the immortal Patrick Barnes YouTube at the 7, Mr. Worth at the 8, Ecoxer, he's a big community member at the 9, Gunnar Ross at the 10, myself in the 11. And Daddy 34, you have to say Daddy's 34's full name. I learned this the first time I referenced him. I said, let's see who Daddy picks. It was very uncomfortable. So we have just gone to Daddy 34. So he's one of those people you have to say the full name, or it makes for some very awkward moments on stream. The Goober knows ball and loves carry. Brian knows a lot of ball. Brian is one of the true ball knowers out there. If you don't, by the way, Brian the Goober streams on G for Gumby's channel, and definitely worth tuning into that. Very, very, very knowledgeable program. Also very entertaining. They're very good together. So appreciate you, Brian. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. Work coming up. What do we want to do here? And Rashad White's ADP is 13. Crazy stuff. Man, after Rashad White goes, the running back options just feel like they turn to mega dust. I do like Egbuka quite a bit, but probably not at the cost of one of Javonte or White here. Let's see what Ecoxer and Gunnar Ross do. It's going to hurt so bad if I have to take Rashad White at pick 11 after getting it in so much better all week. Ecoxer takes A-Chain. I mean, that certainly makes a lot of sense. Let's see what Gunnar Ross does here. He takes Egbuka. All right. Let's take Javonte. I will not pass on Rashad White. Hopefully Daddy 34 says, I'm not getting it in good. And he passes. I mean, starting Josh Allen, Rashad White's not like the end of the world. But it's like I'm pretty sure I have Javonte White teams, but with White in the 3rd. So he takes Josh Allen and Rashad White. So, I mean, I'll do the thing you do on this side of the board. I mean, Drake London against Miami could be generational wealth, but Cortland Sutton against Dallas could also be gen wealth, and it gives us an excuse to be the sleazy Bo Nix drafter if we've got to do it. So Javonte, revenge game, and we know he has revenge in his heart. We'll take that, and we'll take Sutton there. Brian says, appreciate it. Chad, feels like a DBQ team to have Rashad White in the 3rd will be what you need. Yeah, Brian, we were talking about that earlier, whether someone had mentioned, someone had asked that question, and I feel like that's been the big advantage to drafting early was you got that. And I was taking him a lot. I think I was up to like 30 or 40% Rachaad White before the great move up. I wish that was even higher. And now it's, getting him at 13 just feels bad. But yeah, if Rachaad White goes off, I think that's what you're going to need. Like if you don't have him there, you just need to hope that Rachaad White scores, 13.5 points, and it's not what you needed. Kind of score like he could show up on the winning team, but isn't like the reason you won. Like, the guy that gets dragged along by Devonta Smith nuking or something, or whatever it is you need this week. So we've got Javonte and Sutton. Gunnar Ross, he goes Egbuka London. So just says, forget all these crappy running backs after Rachaad White. J-Dubs, he goes Saquon, Breece, go AZ Cards with Lamb and Swift. So I think that's a hair early for Swift, but certainly if he's your preferred running back in that range, he's unlikely to make it back to you. I don't think he has a Q tag on the site, does he? Is he showing up with the Q tag? Because I know he... does it show up in here? I can't even remember. If I click... Yeah, so the Q tags show up in the roster. So I'm just a little bit surprised that Devonta Smith doesn't have one, because I think that would have helped us trying to push him. Not Devonta Smith, DeAndre Swift, because he did miss practice on Wednesday, came back to limited on Thursday. Same groin issue as last week, but, something to keep one eye on. I have to imagine it's nothing and that he's going to play through it. But, yeah, Brian, I like him too. I just have been... I've been finding myself in that range. I was taking more J.K. Dobbins, and I'll admit this for those of you who are still an hour and 16 minutes in. Buster's Boys was taking J.K. Dobbins here on the left, and so was another really sharp drafter. So I was like, I don't love J.K. Dobbins, but if those guys are taking him every time, maybe I should be taking him too. And so I was like breaking ties to what smarter people were doing. I don't know if that's the best process, but sometimes it's the only process we got. But yeah, DeAndre Swift does seem like he's a pretty good pick. If he somehow was out, then we're all going to wish we had a bunch of Kyle Monangai, who, is slowly getting a little more work. Yeah, Swift had a run up like this last week. My only concern is I do think Baltimore could be more frisky than they've been. They were so banged up. They're getting a lot of players in the defensive side back. So I don't think they're just going to be this, the team that we saw Houston absolutely trounce, who made, Nick Chubb look young again. So that's my only concern there. I like Swift over the other running backs available. No way he comes back. Yeah. Hey, look, Scatabo at pick 29. Everyone's out on Scatabo this week. It's tough to see. Brian says, I'm going to have a fade on Dobbins this week. I think Dallas will score points. I don't think they like Dobbins unless they're playing with the lead. Only 48% of snaps. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why I hate what I did. I was like, well, the smarter people are taking him, but I personally don't love it. I don't know. I don't have like a metric ton of him, but I think I was taking Dobbins over Swift. And I think that was partly because I think the Ravens could be better, but I also was worried about the Swift injury. Like the full missed practice seemed slightly concerning. All right, we are coming up. What do we want to do? T. Higgins here is intriguing. I already missed on Nick somehow. All right, let's do it. Let's just game stack it. Forget you, T. Higgins. Get out of here. We're going to try something. We're going to go Fergie Dak. So we'll have Fergie, Javonte, Dak. We missed out on Nick's. Nick's went at pick 23 for some reason. So that was kind of lame. But that's okay. We will stack this up. Definitely an argument I could have taken Higgins here and then just taken the Dak Javonte if I want to just like do the touchdown equity capture bit. But I think there's a couple late options that I like, especially on the right side of the board where it won't be quite as picked over as the far left. So let's do Dak over here. Dak, Javonte, Sutton, and Fergie. But yeah, Brian, the usage with all of the Denver running backs has been just like absolutely infuriating this year. It is just so frustrating to try to feel like you've got a handle on what's going on there. And yeah, Swift's been surprisingly effective. I mean, he's a guy that like no one ever likes, no one really wants to be in on, but they've definitely gotten the most out of him, at least in the past few games, it feels like. But I am encouraged by some of the Monungai stuff, at least for our best ball bags. He's been more involved. Plus, I think Roshan has missed the last 2 practices, so there could be better days ahead for him as well. Good angle. Are you talking about the Dak double? Sorry, Mathology. Or are you referring to Brian the Goober making a good point? I'm gonna say you're talking to me, and then I made a good point. Mathology. We'll see. We will see. All right, so let's check in on everybody. What's everyone doing? Gunnar Ross, he's got Igbuka, London, Kamara, and Baker. I think that makes a great deal of sense there. Don't really. Good point by Brian. I made a good point too, right? Right, Mythology? No, I'm just kidding. No, Brian is right. Brian is right, of course. And Dobbins has just not been my favorite click. But again, I was very leery to push running back to the end, so I kind of felt like needed to take some swings when you were over on the left side, and this like Dobbins, Judkins, Swift kind of crew. But we'll see. I mean, the other thing is this Dallas is so bad against the run that I do worry about overthinking it and not, because it's not like we're taking a different Denver running back. We're just like, if we don't take Dobbins, we're essentially fading the running game. And we were all giga excited to play Krosky Merritt, even though he himself was in a little bit of a timeshare. It didn't really pan out, but that whole offense was dysfunctional because they had no one to throw it to. So I see the path to success for Dobbins, but obviously the snap rate stuff has been like really irritating and makes him, somewhat unreliable there. All right, let's see what comes to us. There's a good chance that wide receiver gets fairly picked over, as it tends to do here. I mean, I would love Tez Johnson, but I think there's a snowball's chance in hell he comes back to me, being that all 4 of these guys can take. I guess only 2 can take receivers. J-Dubs can't take 1, but that would be pretty shocking if he came back. Assuming he doesn't. I mean, going Mims and Sutton and just like overstacking this game like it scores 1,000 points. Feels thin, but I'm not like, I don't absolutely hate it. Your team needs Pierce and Mooney. Man, if Mooney didn't have this hamstring thing, I would really like it. But he got in another limited practice, and it does, gosh, I hate the hamstring stuff. I mean, Alec Pierce is gone, people. Alec Pierce is gone. I can't even take Alec Pierce. I'm gonna do it. Everyone's gonna hate this. Everyone's gonna boo. We're gonna do a double bring back. We're gonna just say that this team scores a gorillion points, and everyone can interstellar yell at how bad this is. But we are literally just going to say this is the game you need. We're gonna say this is the game you need. I don't know if we've seen this work in a dog bowl, but and then we're gonna take Tyler Algier. We're gonna go completely rogue. Everybody hates this. Everybody boo this man. But we're gonna try something here. Again, we're really just gonna hope that this game scores 50 points. I mean, I get taking one of the other. I mean, this is probably bad. I mean, probably want to take Jennings. I can hear the sound of laptops slamming everywhere. I don't love Mooney with the hamstring in a game that could be out of hand. It feels like if anyone's going to get called off, it's him. Coleman's fine. I don't know. I almost feel like I would rather just go all in on one game with the highest total, hopefully going to overtime. Mythology hates it. Boo! No breakfast sandwich for you. The people hate it. I know the people hate it, but I in DK people don't do double bringbacks enough. I know this is a different game, but again, if it's the game you need, we'll see. I would have taken Alec Pierce there. I would have taken Alec Pierce, but he was already gone. Innis 3 had to do it. Chris says GM. I appreciate this. See, this is why this was my last Dawg Bowl team, because the wheels have come spiraling off, and we're not making good teams anymore. So I don't know. Maybe this team ships it. If Denver Dallas goes to overtime, I'm gonna be the Homer Simpson gif with the jewels, just laughing. Mythology says has to score 70 and the rest of the field needs to play to the under. I guess I just don't know. I don't know if I agree that the game has to score 70 for it to work. Like, there's no reason that Mims and Sutton can't get there. Go Easy Cards. I like your team because it makes mine stronger. I'm done for the weekend. All right. Well, again, I'm sorry. Everyone hated this team. But you know what? You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. We're going to say it's part of a larger portfolio. Okay? This is portfolio theory. This is like putting a junk bond in a pension fund. You say you can't put junk bonds in pension funds. That's bad. Well, maybe this junk bond, maybe this uranium mining company finds a deposit. We'll see. Joel says I could definitely see the entire slate playing to the under. Yep, say that. Oh my god. Off the rails, end the stream. No, we'll do we're not doing a Dawg Bowl, but I will do a BR. I will do BR. It's so crazy it might work. Mythology, you need 20 points from everyone. But why can't Sutton and Mims each score 20? We've seen doubles get there. Like, I don't know why this team won't be duped. Thank you, Brian. Brian says something nice about my team. Don't worry about the undertones of it. It won't be duped. Isn't that what we need? Especially in a Dawg Bowl where you don't have to be perfect and you only have to finish in the top 3. We don't want to be duped. I'm going to draft this exact team again. I'm going to get in another draft, and I'm going to draft it again. But let's see what Go Easy Cards did. I'm going to make fun of your team, because I already see CJ Stroud. You drafted CJ Stroud. You can't make fun of my team. You did Stroud Woody Marks. It's actually really clever because Woody Marks is a pass catcher, and that might be the only way that they can, do anything, especially with all their pass catchers hurt. But until that happens, I'm still going to make fun of you for taking CJ Stroud. So he's got Lamb, Swift, Kittle, Marks, Robinson, and Stroud. I want to make fun of this, but I actually think this is kind of neat because nobody has Stroud, and the Stroud Marks thing is kind of cool. So whatever. All right. Let's see what J-Dubs did. Saquon, Brees, Tet McMillan, T. Higgins, Dalton Kincaid, Joe Flacco. A very adult team. Flacco, Higgins, two solid running backs, assuming Brees plays. All right. That's a reasonable team. That is a reasonable team. Let me know. I'll come back. Back for that. Yeah, I'm gonna get investigated for Underdog for collusion, and I'll be like, no, I'm just drafting bad teams, guys. Leave me alone. I don't double stack without the QB when that QB is a dual threat QB. Well, we wanted Bo Nix Okay, Josta, we wanted Bo Nix, but your friend Tyler 2121 had to take him at pick 23. Okay, and sure, we could have seen that happen, but we didn't. I guess there's the bigger issue is like here's the thing, and I won't keep dwelling on this. I feel like this team at this point, instead of Mims, like my two options are one, lean into this game literally being like the massive shootout you need and double bring back, or tacking on who went after me, Tyler Shavers. I mean, if I'm looking for a Gillette sponsorship because this stream needs a sponsor, sure, maybe I take Tyler Shavers, but I don't know if that's a great pick. All right, I can play the Q tag game. I could take Bateman or more, but what's more likely? Bateman is the spike week guy we need, or this Denver game shoots out and maybe both people on Denver get home? And maybe your answer is like, it's Bateman, you idiot. That's fair, but I don't think it's fully crazy to just overstack a game, especially if the game is the highest total and we think we can pick on Dallas's defense. But again, I certainly get the argument that your Bateman was taken. No, I mean, if I hey, Chris G, let me look at your team. If I took Bateman instead of Mims. All right, Chris G, let's see what you did. CMC, Lamar Jackson, Chris Olave, Ramondre, Schultz, and Bateman. Yeah, these are normal. These are normal, well-constructed teams. Yeah, Mythology super sharp. He mentioned that on Neil Orfield's stream. But appreciate the criticism for sure. I am more than happy to hear it from the audience if you don't like what we did, and I'll be harsh on myself too. But it wasn't just like I wasn't randomly clicking buttons. I was trying to do something, but it just might be that something is wrong and sucks. But it wasn't. We're experimenting. We're trying something. But yes, if that game ends 14 to 17 to 14, we're that team is deader than dead. All right, we're in a main BR. If you can please don't unlike it because you didn't like the last draft. We're all doing our best here. This will probably wind it down. 132 BR2. But yeah, appreciate everybody's support. It's been a really fun draft. It's been a fun Friday. We're going into the weekend strong. We'll see where we end up. We got Josta here at the 6. We got Mr. Worth at the 1, and we are rocking. And like you said, it's fine. I just want to see that team, making a late charge, because it's gonna be nowhere after the 1 p.m. game. So it's the late. You guys wanted a late hammer, and then I draft a late hammer, and everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't draft a hammer. You drafted one of those rubber mallets." Like, it's not a hammer. It's literally it's soft on the end of it. All right, so he takes Bijan. Let's do Jonathan Taylor here. See if we can't construct something fun. Gunnar Ross asking, any good second Q teams in the finals? I didn't really play. I only did one draft and it died week 1. But if anyone is, let Gunnar Ross know. Fun contest there. I know the 3Q is open. I have not done that. I just have not had time for those drafts. It's amazing how much longer the 12-person 18-round drafts feel now that we're used to these BRs and Dawg Bowls. Like a 40-minute draft feels like an eternity. Legal advice: overstack Denver, Dallas. This is not legal fantasy or good advice. Go AZ Cards. We'll see. New meta. Overstack with the double bring back. What could go wrong? Go AZ Cards. Nope, my 2Q final will min cash. Well, yeah, my eliminator team is pretty toast with QJ goose egging, and I have I'm on Raw on bye, and a few other. Garrett Wilson's injured. Like I'm pretty hopeless. Ran into a team who has absolutely nobody on bye, so it seems unfair, but that's the way she goes. All right, we got Jonathan Taylor here. do like Drake London quite a bit. Let's see what Bubs the No Badger with goat horns does. You don't see that too often. So I wonder what they won. But congratulations to you, Bubs23. All right, he takes Saquon. I will take Derrick Henry. So we'll go JT Henry here. See what the room wants to get back to us. Tyler Warren. I mean, I would love to get Drake London, but if Drake London goes, I mean, we could do Sutton opposite Henry, but let's do a Jalen Hurts team. Let's see if we can't get Hurts. If we could do Hurts Devonta, that'd be fun. But again, Devonta's been rising a lot. I'd be, his ADP is 27. That could end up being a fake ADP, but we'll see. We'll try to grab it around here while that's still live, but it may not be. It may not be. This is one of those moves where if AJ Brown's announced out, if you want your Devonta teams, I would probably be grabbing them now because he's not going to fall. I don't think he's going to fall, and you're not mucking your combos up too much because your last two picks you're typically taking a tight end and then a scroll. So I don't think you're sacrificing a ton if you're trying to snag him now versus later if he comes up. Although, yeah, again, I don't know if he's going to rise that much to where you really have to do it, but it could be enough to matter. I've just been thinking about it, especially seeing him rise so much in the Dawg Bowl. I think when we talked about that early in the stream, I may have kind of underestimated how much he could potentially be rising here. But we'll see if we can't stack him with Hurts. There goes Scatabo. Bubs needs a receiver. See what he does. Of course, AJ Brown, if he play, it makes sense to take him as well because you can just play the Q tag game. But I'll grab Devonta here. So we got Hurts, Taylor, Henry, Devonta. Let's see what else we can get here. J-Dubs takes Pickens. I think for me, I'd probably just snag Fergie and then a scroll down wide receiver to end the team. So let's take Jake Ferguson there. We'll celebrate some National Tight End Week. Let's see how we can land the plane. Joel says Bijan plus London is probably bad, but it's really hard to let London pass. It is very hard to let London pass. It feels tough in the main BR for that to get there, but not fully insurmountable. I mean, if they really do destroy the Dolphins, you could see that. But yeah, if this was a smaller field contest, I would be so excited to get that. I would be pretty excited to get that pairing. Just in the main BR, it does feel like when you need to be just about perfect, that path is slightly narrow. But I'm also the same guy that double stack Mims and Sutton, so might be an slightly unreliable narrator there. I don't really have much Wandale. There's an argument that we could take him opposite this Eagles stuff. I'm not super committed to the bring back. I think I just prefer taking Tet here. If Tet's gone, we could do it. T. Higgins is a fun click. Pittman's a fun click, but I do want to scroll a teensy bit. And I do feel like people who scroll will land on Wandale a bit, just naturally wanting to do the bring back stuff. But let's take a Tet share. I could see him just getting absolutely peppered with targets. So the team is JT, Henry, Hurts, Devonta, Fergie, and Tet. Josh to 29. He goes Cook, Igbuka, Kittle, Javonte, Tez, Johnson, and a unstacked Bo Nix. I think that's a pretty strong team there. Josta, J-Dubs. He ends the team with Baker, an unstacked Baker. I was very much expecting you to take Penix there, but Baker Baker pretty strong as well. So he goes Bijan, Tyler Warren, Drake London, George Pickens, Chris Olave, and Baker Mayfield. Joel says, betting on Algier being limited and Bijan getting all the running back work. Yeah, if Algier is indeed limited, my goodness. I've been taking Algier and stuff. That could be really bad. That could be really bad if he's limited. But everybody, I appreciate you so much. I had such a fun week. I had a fun time drafting these with you all. It has truly been a pleasure. So thanks so much for stopping by. If you can drop a like, drop a sub, it'd mean a ton to me. But otherwise, good luck this weekend. I will be in the Wildcat and BR streets. If you find me on Discord, say hello. But otherwise, take care, and I will see you on Monday. Good luck, everyone.